I want to share a story with you, something that I experienced, but I'm going to preface it first. There is something so sacred and intimate about caring for someone else, for another being. It's not a superficial idea of caring for another alone, but being in the moment, where you are, right there. You're present. And in that moment, in that presency, you're actively loving on someone. Here's my story. I was brushing my Sasky. She's my thoroughbred. Detangling her tail, with Missy, my feline, at my feet. There was something so humbling about this experience. It was shared. It was a shared presency. Humbling that Saskia trusted me enough to let me touch her fur, to lift her tail, to brush her body. Engaging with me. It was a co-creation. I wasn't doing anything to her. She was allowing me to be with her and do this together. She would nudge me, telling me where she wanted to be scratched. She loves butt scratches. It felt like an exchange, dialogue without words, and yet there it was. It was felt, understood, experienced. And she said yes to me. She said yes. I found as humans, we tend to project our thoughts about what we think about what animals feel and how they might think. But these are projections of the ego mind. That's what I like to call it. These are often not real. You can feel when it's not real. You can feel when someone's faking. You can feel when someone's lying to you or just going through the motions. They're not being real. Animals know what's real, and they ignore what's not. We have much to learn from them. Because when a soul talks to another soul, it's indescribable. It's palpable. The connection, consciousness to consciousness, soul to soul, can't be denied. It can only be felt deep inside, not in the mind, deeper than the heart. It's one soul talking to another in a language of the soul, not of the mind, not of the body, and not of the imagination. And brushing her hair and tail while she was munching on hay, that's her favorite too. She'd check on me every now and again, looking at me straight in the eyes, keeping that soul-to-soul connection. Intimate, real, indescribable, palpable, intangible, and yet tangible. With the greatest of love. That's real and pure, unfathomable love. There were no expectations, no projections, no thinking, no languaging with the mind, just being, presencing with respect. Animals, they know and they see and they feel, just like this. They don't have an ego. They don't come up with thoughts like humans about their bodies, that they might be fat or thin or anything like that now. They don't have the ego to do that. That's a human creation. That's an insecurity and projection of the human. But let me tell you about this presencing, this soul-to-soul communication. You feel it. It's a shared loving. It's being of service. I don't even think there is a word for it, really. No, it's not. No, there is no word for it. It's a feeling that has richness and texture for which there are no words. And yet, she allowed me to be with her, to touch her body, to connect soul to soul and bring it into the physical without languaging of the mind and the ego and everything that we know we think is true, but is illusion, delusion, and distraction. She allowed me to be with her and to touch her body. She didn't have to numb herself like I see so many animals do, especially horses. To switch off, to disengage, to dissociate. I know humans do this too. It's trauma. She wasn't bracing herself just in case there was discomfort because it was forced. No. When humans come to animals and even to each other, they usually expect something. This wasn't that. This was that soul-to-soul connection that can't be described in words. It was like a meditation without thinking. And she knew. And she trusted. And even asked for it. And I obliged and engaged on these terms that we created. You see, we create terms when we connect with people. Usually we use words. Sometimes soul-to-soul connection. When it's there, that deep connection, you don't need words. It was a sharing of time and space. You don't need words because it's sacred. In the stillness, it's sacred. And in the stillness, that sacredness that is shared cannot be denied. And I think we humans are looking for this. We're looking for the sacred. We're trying to label it, think about it, interpret it, find meaning. And often we busy ourselves. We've done this and we've done that. With our thoughts, technology, and all matter of distraction and projections, that we miss these magical moments. These moments that cannot be found in any other place, space. The moments that change us, that touch us, that bring epiphanies and aha moments, that change us because it takes us outside of what we know. If only we let ourselves do that. The funny thing is, these moments require no spoken words. If anything, the spoken word disrupts these moments, that connection, that sacredness. So when people ask me what we learn from animals, if only they knew what they shared. But in sessions, people feel it. And often they tell me for days. It lingers. Beyond the reductionism of the thinking mind. Beyond the distractions of quick and self-gratification, often at the expense of others. If only we could feel without intrusion from these projections and judgments. It's here that we can hear the sacred beating of the heart of the universe, the cosmic pulse, as I like to call it. We can hear the whisper of the cosmic breath and its purity. The purity that we still had as children and now have forgotten. It almost feels like sometimes life and all the distractions, the illusions that come with that, seem to have taken away from us. But it's still there. Well, we're made of stardust, aren't we? So the spark is still there. And through the darkness, we find that again. To the light. It's just waiting to be seen again and again and again. And to a light brighter. So when people ask me what I've learned from animals, this is what I think animals have taught me. The sacredness and intimacy of the soul-to-soul connection that is true caring for another. My name is Chiara Marabodi. If you want to connect with me, you can at my website, chiaramarabodi.com. I'll see you soon.